Musically.
Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. How y'all doing today? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. I hope you all are having a fantastic week so far. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. My weekend and week is cool. I can't really complain. All right, so thank you all so much for joining me. I have another great show lined up, and it looks like I already have people in the studio. All right, so boom. I have to do my spiel, but this show, right before I get to my spiel, this show, if you want to join me in the studio, I've already put the link in there. If you got something you want to talk about or whatever, we're gonna do that. Okay. All right, good. All right, so let me go ahead and do my spiel. So check it. If you are not subscribing, following, or whatever, y'all tripping. All right. So look, listen. On YouTube, it's just Relationship Soup, period. Okay. You got to put the period in there. If you don't put the period, you're gonna be somewhere else. All right. And please come join the forum. It's Relationship Soup Group. Right. So come and join us. I'm going to actually be addressing some stuff. And let me tell you, this past weekend, it's been juicy. Juicy in a good way, though. So we're going to kind of talk about some things and some resolutions, right? And then, of course, you got to hit the website, right? If you need a greeting card, whatever, for any occasion, holiday, whatever, please come to RelationshipSoup.com. And if you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoup, LLC, or you can look me up under my last name. Okay, so boom. So like I said, this show, and I like to give the instructions anyway. You should already see the instructions in the chat. Now, if you want me to send just the regular link, I can try to do that for you. I know that I've sent a few of you the link already to your inbox. So if you want to join, don't be shy. We're gonna get it in tonight like we did last week. So like I said, every week that I don't have a guest, I'm just going to turn it over to you. The mic is yours. So there's no topic that's limited. So if you want to join, do that. All right. I see that I have a few of you joining me already. Leah Nicole, thank you for joining me. Now listen, fam, it's cute that you be joining every week, right? But I want you in the studio. I want you to come in the studio. Like, you need to come in here with me one day. All right. So boom. Okay, so let's see here. Is there anything else that I want to cover before we get into the nitty-gritty of tonight? Let me go ahead and give this disclaimer. Okay, so because I have opened the mic, I don't know what people are going to be talking about. Okay. All I know is what I'm going to talk about from the soup. So I just want to give the disclaimer now. If it get too crazy for you, if you feel like it's a sensitive topics or whatever, feel free to log out. I won't be offended. Just join me the next week. Okay. All right, boom. Let's see here. Oh, hi, Derek. How are you? Good evening, Star Child and Extended. Absolutely. Peace, King. I hope all is well with you. Thank you so much for joining me. And Derek, of course, if you want to join, you already know it's always open to you. All right, boom. Okay, so let me see here. Where do I want to start? All right, so I have Music Man and Mark Lee in the studio. Okay. Let me see. Let me go ahead and bring them on because I'm going to go ahead and talk about these topics right quick. And then whatever questions they have or whatever questions y'all have, we can make it happen. All right, so Mark Lee, I see you. How are you?
I'm doing well, seeing that you are looking lovely as always and doing charming and just being your usual effervescent self. You know, I'm a big fan, and all along those lines, just call me one of your biggest fanboys and all in that way. But definitely, you are doing a wonderful job, and I'm looking forward to our conversation and all in that space and everything like that. Even though I did have a unusual question to ask you at some point and everything, but I'll get to that whenever you're ready for me to bring it up and all along those lines. Because I'm just curious about the soup and what they have dealt with and all in that space. Because I'm an open book. Sometimes my brother says I'm too much of an open book and everything. So I just wanted to, I'll just go ahead and put it out there. I'm just wondering if everybody in the soup has ever been catfished, and if so, how did they deal with that? Because I think we've all dealt with that at some point or another in our life and everything. So I'm wondering if anybody in the soup has had folks that have done their whole catfish hustle and all along those lines. Because I know sometimes you get people that swear up and down that they're being an African nation, a European nation, or some other nation, and they need this help or that help, and all along those lines. So I think we've all seen those happen on the internet, particularly in the age of the pandemic. So I just wanted folks' reactions to that.
Oh my goodness, not the catfish. So you want to know about it? Has people been? So Mark Lee wants to know: have you ever been catfished? Right? Is
That's
that
all
what
I
I'm?
want to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So if y'all been catfished, share your stories. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm trying to think. You gotta give me a second. It's been a long day. Let me think. Have I been catfished before? Okay. 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 I got something for you. I have been catfished with, like personality. You know
Right.
what I mean? You know how people be lying and kick it like, yeah, they be trying to act like they this way and then yeah. So as far as personality, right,
Yeah.
lying and kick it, yeah, I've been catfished that way. I'll say
Uh,
that.
yeah. I
Is
think
that
we've
fair?
all been. Yeah. I think we've all been catfish at one time or another, because I definitely know that I have heard people that have claimed to be this or that, and well, you've gotten to know me at least and everything, so I'm naturally curious. So I made the nerve to actually call one of them one time, and I'm sorry if you claim to be a woman, how come you sound like a Nigerian dude? So that's when I knew that I had been literally catfished. Because when I called the number that they gave me, they're like, "Call me," and with the person that answered the phone, I'm going like, "You do not sound like a woman. You sound like a Nigerian dude." So I knew that they were definitely in some other country and were telling some lies and untruths.
Okay. Not a night. So you didn't pinpoint it. You
Yeah,
didn't pinpoint it to Nigerian dude. You know what? And everybody, some people have a hustle. I won't say everybody. Some people just have that hustle in them scams. You hear me? I do see we have a few more comments. So, Mark, I am
yeah,
going to bring on these topics too. All right, so let's see here. We have, hi, cousin Melvin. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to the family reunion. It fell through. It just fell through. But I'm going to see you soon. I'm going to see you soon. We're going to figure it out because I know you're up in Baltimore, right? So we're going to figure that out. So let's see here. Hi, B. Yes, absolutely. So hopefully you have a little something to drink to kind of ease it a little bit. And thank you so much for tuning in, Vernon. I appreciate
yeah.
you.
At least I know you got all these important topics. But there's a thing that you went through. I hope that I do not go through it soon. And I want your prayers, and I want the relationship soup prayers as well. And even though my dad wrote a piece called Thoughts and Prayers, but he sometimes thought that people give platitudes and all along those lines. But dad is actually in the hospital today because he's having surgery, like some open heart type surgery tomorrow, and all along those lines. And I know you went through a lot with your dad and everything, but he is not your average 84-year-old. He's got probably more healthier than I am, because I know he doesn't have the pot that I do and all along those lines. So he definitely still swims and does things that I need to do more of, even though I just went out for a nice long walk earlier today and everything. But he is expected tomorrow morning to have his surgery. So I know that you are a praying woman, and I know others that are on this show are praying women as well. So I hope that y'all will give him prayers. And like I said, I'm not, I know you went through some hard times with your own dad and the loss of your dad, and I hope my dad will be around for a while and everything, but only the surgeons know. But I do hope that you will send out praying wishes and anybody else that is watching as well.
Absolutely. Prayer, love, and light to you and your family. I definitely will do that. And I'll also post it in the group too for prayers. That is not an easy thing. Like, oh yeah, prayer, love, light, positive hugs, energy, all of that. That is one of my worst experiences because it's nothing you can do. And you have to trust these doctors or whatever to take care. Like, well, you got to trust the creator first. Let me go ahead.
Yeah.
You got to have trust in God first. I can definitely feel you on this, and I will be in prayer. So, yeah, love and light to your dad. And may the creator work through them surgeons, all the staff, all of y'all to give y'all strength and everything. So, yeah, absolutely. I'll post in the group as well. So, yeah, and keep me posted. I mean, you got my number, so you just keep it.
Well, you know, no matter what the nature of family is and everything along those lines, as I've told you before, and I'm just going to make a public announcement about it. As far as I'm concerned, you are definitely family. Now, what that family becomes, only time and the God above will let us know that. But you know, you are family for life, as far as I'm concerned, and everything. So, Lisa, you know, whether it is a Beyonce type thing, that, you know, maybe that's in my wishful thinking and everything, or whether it's some other kind of way, you know, you are family for life as far as I am concerned, and I do mean that sincerely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And it looks like Melvin says sending prayers. Eric was like, oh, wow, prayers and vibes from Mark's dad and family. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, and Leah says prayers for your father. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
So Derek says, when you get a chance, can you give my mother a shout out for her birthday? Her name is Linda. Linda, happy birthday, Linda. May you be blessed with many more health, love, happiness. May all of the desires of your heart come into fruition. And you know what, Derek? I got Music Man in the studio too, right? That's the one that made my whole theme. You know, I got to shout him out because everybody always talking about, hey man, that theme is tight. And I'll be having to be like, yes, Music Man, and he sings, right? So maybe Music Man will sing. I would do it for you, but I don't have the auto tune so that I can sound like Kelly. Y'all know who I be wanting to sound like, Kelly Rowland. I done said it on a few episodes, so listen. I'm gonna let Music Man decide if he's gonna sing for your mom. So happy birthday, Miss Linda. May you be blessed with many more. All right. All right, so let's see here. So I see y'all in the studio, and I'm gonna bring y'all on, okay? I do want to address this topic in the soup. And again, if you all have anything that y'all want to talk about, or even a confession, do y'all have some confessions? We ain't had no confessions on here yet. You got a
What,
confession?
what you talking about? I just confessed that I was catfish. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, no, I'm talking about confession. Okay. Let me say, that's more of like, I'm talking about confessions. You know what I'm saying? Like some Usher confessions. He sung about that.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you consider an usher confession and everything? Because on this show already, I have told you that I have been catfished by a Nigerian dude, which I did today. And I think that I told you on a past show that because of I am transparent and because I don't believe in putting up with stupidity, that I walked out of a relationship because I was not going to literally put up with the stupidity. So I packed up my bags and jumped on, because you know I'm a mass transit child, jumped on the bus and kept on trucking and everything. But I think I've told you two confessions right off the top.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you credit for that. But I want more confessions. How about that? I want more confessions. Confessions are good. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, Derek, I see this. Mom says thank you. Her face lit up. Oh, I'm so glad mommy's face lit up. All right, boom. So y'all, let me share this, okay? So Mark, I'm gonna take you off of here so I can
No
bring
problem.
you.
No problem.
I'm gonna bring you right back. So don't go nowhere. Okay,
I'm
don't
not
go.
going anywhere. I'm right here for you.
All right, boom. Okay, so check it. So I want to bring up some topics from the soup. And again, if y'all have stuff that y'all want to discuss, put it in the chat, join that link, whatever. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. Because I want to talk. I call this car or no. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. Okay, so this was posted in the group, and people are still going in about this post. Okay, so this is what it is. Picture this. You are married. You have one child. Your spouse has one child. Your child is a straight A honor roll student. Your spouse's child is not. Both kids are in the 12th grade. You told your child at the beginning of freshman year that if they remain an honor roll student, you will buy them a brand new car of their choice for graduation. Each year of school that your child makes straight A's, you put money away. Your child upholds their end of the bargain or deal. Don't come for me, Coach Wilson. I just said bargain. You have managed to save up $25,000. You make plans to go buy the car. Your spouse says their child would need to pay for college and wants you to not buy your child a car, but instead help with tuition, housing, and books. You guys have separate accounts. You make about the same amount of money. Your child has a full ride scholarship. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna give y'all some chance, some time in the studio to think about it. I'm gonna give y'all some time in the chat to think about what y'all would do. I'm going to share a couple comments because the comments were pretty much the same. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share these comments because it's just like this could be a pickle, right? Because as a married couple, you should be on the same page. So let me go ahead and share this. Okay, boom. So these were some of the comments. Most would say that they would buy their child a car. Like Nicoya Miller says, buy my child the car. I've been saving since their freshman year. My bonus child should have worked harder. I'm sure they warned before senior year. Hard head makes a soft butt. You better work and go to school. People do it all the time. Crystal says, buy your child the car. Miranda agrees. Lauren says, L Boogie says, buy the car, help with tuitions, books, etc. for the other child. Alicia says, he shouldn't have put up for his child. I'm buying my child a car. People are basically saying, buy the car. So Janelle says, the same way you put up money for a car for your child, he should have been putting money up for tuition for his child. Okay. So it seems like everyone pretty much agrees. I'm going to stop that share. Okay, so boom. So what y'all think? What y'all think? Let's see here. So Leah says, I'll ask my son if he wanted me to do what my son wanted me to do. Her husband has the same amount of time to prepare. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, boom. So let's see here. I'm curious what the studio thinks. So let me see. I'm going to add Music Man. I'm going to add all of y'all to the stage, okay? So, Mark, Music Man, what do y'all think about this? What do y'all think?
Man, I'll let you go first.
Oh, he's gonna
Music,
put me on the spot.
what would you do? Like, what would you do?
So, I mean, if I understand it right, there's one good kid, there's one, kid who's not doing as well. So here's
Yeah,
the thing, in life, and I grew up like with my grandfather, uncles, like, you don't get a participation reward for showing up. I mean, just because you breathe and inhale, exhale it, you got to put in the work, you got to put in the grind to get reward. So at the end of the day, hey, if you want that reward, you got to step up and put that work in. There's no participation trophies in this life. So that's my 2 cents.
that's
Well,
fair. That's fair. I love it. I love it. Okay. What you
Well,
think?
I'll go ahead. Two things. One, technically, you're right. There's not supposed to be a participation award, but y'all know I might be a little on the older side. We won't say how much older and everything, but I do remember when I was in high school in the we'll say the 70s and all on those lines, there was a little bit of a participation award because I was a track runner, music man and everything, and I sucked. I'll tell you, I sucked, and I know I sucked at everything, but there was this notion that the track coach was going to run you, and keep on running you. And if you survived, you made the team. So that's how I made the team. So I know was not a good runner, but I made the team because I was persistent. So sometimes you just persistent And like I said, I made the team and won 3 championships because I was a good recruiter and networker, just like I am now, even on Lisa's show and everything. But I won 3 technically state championships, even though I was probably behind last place. I wasn't even last place, which was bad. I was behind last place, and all along those lines. So definitely there can be participation awards. Now, what I'm gonna give to you, because like I said, I've had the pleasure of dating different people. And this is where I will go, where I'm not always the biggest fans of trophy awards, whether you're doing good or bad, because sometimes people can fool you and everything. Because I was talking to a ex of mine, and all along those lines, and she had 2 kids. One that was super smart, that was on the fast track, and is still on the fast track. And ironically, Music Man is a musician. I think she's a celloist or something like that, or they go by they. So I think they've made that transition and everything. But they were still and are a great musician, and all along those lines. Their sister was not. Their sister was actually considered developmentally disabled and everything. But the last time I talked to that ex and everything, that sister is actually doing well and is going to study to be an RN or an LPN, one of them nursing kind of professions. But you would not have expected that when they were growing up, because one was seen as being more advanced and the other was considered to be lesser than in terms of academically, but both of them are doing good in their respective fields and everything. So that's why I would sometimes argue with the award situation, because you might be giving an award to somebody, because sometimes even in our lives we can get too materialistic. So maybe you're giving it a reward, maybe you're gonna give him some fancy car, and that fancy car might get him on some track where he's busy out there chasing the ladies, and that even gets him off track and everything like that and everything. So that's why I'm sometimes, and I got 2 nephews, and I can tell you, I'm not going to be rushing out to get them, even though they're about to be on driver's time. I'm not rushing to get them no cars. I'm not even rushing to get them any games and everything. Don't tell Julius and Langston that. That's my nephews. Come on, Uncle, you got to give me something. So, but right now, I'm not necessarily trying to rush to give them gifts, because I don't know that that's going to be a true incentive. And I'll just leave it at that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So we got some comments, y'all. So check this out. Let's see here, and then I'll give what my thoughts are. They need to work together and compromise to make it make sense. Why isn't it possible to do both? Both sides are being selfish. Okay. All right. So Derek says doing what's best for the family should be at the forefront, not placing and picking sides. Okay. My fault. Placate. Oh, I hope Coach was listening. He gonna come here with the reading rainbow, y'all. He gonna get me. All right, this is a teachable moment for all parties. And then Leah says, facts. This is a life lesson. His son may need to stay at home for college until he gets it together. That makes sense.
Tell Malia, I was raised by a Southern grandfather and 3 Kappa uncles. Like, they just don't play that. Like, there's no participation awards. Now, that might seem harsh, but I was just raised as a traditional man, where like in life, and this is not a brag book, but on my day job, I've been to what we call Winner Circle, which is the top 10% in the company three times. So I've been 3 times, and excuse my French, but you got to work your butt off to get there. Like, they don't give that out. Like, to be in the top 10% of a corporate company, and again, they reward you, they treat you like royalty, but you got to work your butt off to get that. You don't just get it just because you show up and you feel entitled to it. You got to put that grind in. And the thing about it, when you work for it, you appreciate it more, because again, anything that's given to you, you become entitled to it. So again, I just believe that, hey, sometimes you have to teach people. But here's the key to that. You can give people the tools to win, but you can't just reward them for things that they haven't done yet.
I agree with that and everything. Hey,
yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that.
Lisa, I just wanted to take a moment of privilege, if I can, and everything, because you play that theme all the time, and I know you said the Music Man, because I'm in the music game. I've been in the music game for a while. Parents had a radio station up in rural North Carolina, and got friends, including Chip Sharon and others, that are musicians and everything, and some that have passed on, like Patrice Barnes, that used to be on Saturday Night Live and everything. So, Music Man, every time I hear that opening, I just got to give you some big time dudes, as one that has been in the music game and all along those lines, and has been in it for decades. A good friend of mine does the Road to the Apollo, where we take the winners up to the Apollo and everything. So I just got to say that every time I hear that song, I'm going like, I don't know who this Music Man is until Lisa told me, but I have an you and all along those lines. So I just wanted to let you know that as a fellow person in the entertainment game. So I just wanted to share that with you.
God bless you, Mr. Mark Lee. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy it, and anybody that enjoys the theme song, it was inspired by me and Lisa when we kind of first linked up and chatted about bringing the show back. I just wanted to make sure that we do it justice. And again, even though my mother gave me the last name Monroe, I am a Jones, so I believe in giving my best. So if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it big. So I did the not only the theme song, but the video part of it too. So thank you, Mr. Lee, for that compliment. I definitely appreciate you, sir. That means a lot to me.
No problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. So look, check this out, and I promise I'm gonna give my ideas on the situation. Hello, Kim. Thank you so much for joining me, cousin. I appreciate that. And then there was one more comment that I know that's in there. Thank you, cuz. I really appreciate that. Right? I'm telling you, my cuz be like my hype woman. You hear me? She be hyping me up. Like, I appreciate you, man. All right, so boom. Let me see here. What are my thoughts? So I don't have any children, right? But I've obviously been in a relationship where there have been children involved, and you have to make different decisions and stuff like that. You definitely should do what's going to be for the greater good of all the relationships. I would say honor your promise, okay? Because I think that your child, you have made a commitment to your child, right? And you want to be able to honor that promise, right? Because you want to keep that relationship with them good as well. They have worked, they met their end of the bargain, so meet yours. I would definitely sit down and have a discussion with my spouse, right? I had a spouse. This was my situation. I had a spouse. Because I think it's important to be able to have open and honest communication. You definitely want to continue to foster that. Okay. I would say if there are any compromises, I believe someone in the comments, and there's like 108 comments on this, and it's still going. Make compromises. I believe someone said something about you can help with books or whatever, right? So that's something to think about. Think about what the compromises could be, because like my daddy always used to say, there's a happy medium. There's always a happy medium, right? Sometimes it's easy to get to, sometimes it's not, but there's a happy medium. I will also say empathy and fairness is really important. So you should really consider your spouse too, right? Because it can be awkward, especially when you're dealing with children and bonus kids and all that stuff. So you definitely want to consider your spouse's perspective. Okay. You want to, validate, I can understand how you feel or whatever, because again, you want to make sure that you're looking at the long term of your relationship too, right? Because after them kids is gone, it's just going to be you and that spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you keeping it, figuring that out.
Yeah,
And then let's see here. And I would just say be transparent. Be very transparent. I think that's really important. So again, I think there's a happy medium. I think that there can be harmony accomplished in this situation. So that's that, right? What y'all think? That's fair.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense what you just said. But Lisa, I got to ask you two questions based on what you just said and based on my own life and everything along those lines. And maybe Music Man, because I don't know what these guys, kids or not, got some thoughts on this and everything. But what do you say when you are in relationships? Because I've been in relationships with women that have had children, and sometimes you know that you're being hustled by the children and everything, because they might have a favorite store or a favorite restaurant, and they're going to try to talk you into going to that restaurant. Because I know when I was staying with a young lady in Raleigh, which is our state capital here in North Carolina, it was pretty much a given that she was going to try to hustle me to go to Snoopy's. And anybody that knows Snoopy's knows that's a fast food
What
chain.
is Snoopy's? What is that? American food with Snoopy's?
Snoopy's is like a hot dog chain, so it's like a hot dog chain in the South and everything, but it's kind of got hot dogs and things. So it's kind of, I'm trying to think of what y'all might have similar in Indiana, but it's like a private, kind of like a Dairy Queen or even some of the other stores that are hot dog oriented, but it's a hot dog type chain. So yeah, you were going to Snoopy's with that younger one. The one that I said was sometimes perceived as slower and everything. So it was given that they were going to try to hustle you to get down to Snoopy's, and I'm sure even Music Man had some of his ladies' kids or other folks that were trying to get him to go to some places he's shaking his hands. And then the other question I was curious about, because I think I mentioned this on one of our past shows, is I got a friend who is older. I mean, well, she's younger than me, but she's older than you, I think, slightly and everything. But she's got not one, not two, but 11 grandkids. And sometimes I'm going like, even if I want to go into a relationship, that's a lot of baggage to be added into a thing and everything. So I'm just wondering, in your mind and Music Man, how far would you go? Is there like a limit? Are you only going to deal with a man that's got, and Music Man, a woman that's got 2 or 3 kids, and are you leaving the grandkids alone? Because I think I told you that my cousin He married a woman that had, I think, 3 or 4 at the time they got married, and they're happily married and everything. But 11's a lot. I'm just being transparent. 11's a lot to be putting on somebody and everything. So Music Man's like, how you doing, 11?
11.
So Mr. Mark, oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. There's
So
a delay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so 11 is my favorite number, but nah, I ain't doing it. It ain't happening. Nah, I'm cool on that. Nah. 11 I see a lot. I think that's the universe and God talking to me. But yeah, when it comes to kids, nah, 11 is not my number. So they can keep that one. Love you from a distance. So I might sponsor one of the kids for Christmas, but no, can't do it. 11, no, I got one, and that's good. I'm good on that one. But that's hey, to each one his own, no judge. But not for Music Man, can't do it.
So would I talk to someone that has 11 kids or 11 grandkids? So 11 kids, right?
11 grandkids.
Oh, 11 grandkids.
Yes. They got 4 kids, 4 adult kids, and 11 grandkids.
They have 4 kids and 11 grandkids.
Yes.
I mean, grandkids, that's a little different.
That's a little different.
Grandkids are a little bit different, but if bro has 11 kids, listen, I have 0. So that's a tall order, right? And then the ages matter too, right? Because if they got from 2 to 10, I don't know, 2 to, yeah. But I mean, as far as grandkids, I'm not tripping on no grandkids. I ain't tripping on no grandkids.
Yeah, grandkids are a different thing because that to me is like that's not a direct responsibility. But yeah, but 11 kids, nah, that's a no go.
No,
Yeah,
11
I
kids
ain't
is
so
totally
giraffe for that one. You got 11 kids. I can't be the sole giraffe for that one. I can't because 11 kids is how many baby mamas we talking? And what y'all situation like? Because like I like low drama. I like peace. You feel me? 11 kids. That's 11 different personalities plus they mamas, bruh. Nah.
And it could be 11, like you just said, depending on how quick they were and how much they were spreading that seed. It could be 11 separate mamas and everything. So yeah, that could be real drama if you talk about 11 different personalities.
Now
That's a no for me. You got 11 kids. Just don't even just say hi to people because I can't do that with you.
so I got to be me because Lisa know how I am. So do those 11 kids play instruments though? Can we make them into a band?
You know.
So you said that the 11 kids play and you can form a band. It might be a possibility because I'm thinking there's like basketball players that folks
if we can
they want to do their
Jackson
own
5 Part
football
2,
team.
we might talk if it's a Jackson 5 Part 2 situation.
Oh.
I'm just playing. No, I'm not doing it. I'm just playing.
Y'all hilarious. Okay, so boom. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not knocking anyone that walks into a situation. If it was a situation where somebody had 11 kids and that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm just saying for me, yeah, I don't want to be with 11 kids. No.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Vernon's remarks. You didn't see Vernon's remarks at the bottom, but that's why I started cracking up.
Grandkids, facts, B, right? Grandkids can go. That's why I wouldn't trip. Like if I was with someone that had I'm not tripping. I ain't tripping off 11 grandkids. Them ain't, those are extensions.
Right.
But like 11, that would be me. All right, so boom. So let's see here. So we do have some more topics, okay? So I'm going to bring y'all back. Unless y'all got something that y'all want to talk about. Y'all got something? All right, so I'm going to put y'all back because I'm going to bring on this other thing, okay? All right, boom. So let's see. Okay, so there are some other topics. Now, this one kind of dealt with someone they've been with their boyfriend for like 8 months. Let me go on and share this because I really want to know what your opinion is on this one. Let's see here. Okay, boom. So check this out. My boyfriend and I have been together for 8 months. He decided to tell me that he loves me. I've been waiting on that for a while because the feeling is mutual. He said in the midst of intercourse, so basically he said it when they was getting it in. All right, y'all. But she didn't say it back. Okay. He or she didn't say it back. I didn't know if he was in the heat of the moment or if he actually felt that way. He has not said it again, and I think he is mad because I didn't say it at that time. I do not know what to do now. So I'm going to stop that share. Okay? So picture this. You are Get it in with your significant other. Y'all been together for 8 months, okay? So they say I love you, right? You don't say it back. All right, so that's the situation. I'm going to share a few comments. I'm going to give y'all some time to think about it. Listeners, I'm going to give y'all some time to think about it. And in the studio, y'all think about this too. All right, so let me see here. Let me see what the people said in the soup. All right, so here's a few comments now. Communication started off on the wrong foot already. Well, if it's said and you didn't, you probably hurt his feelings. Somebody said you didn't effed up. So now that meme isn't, yeah, never mind. I thought about that one movie, never mind. B says, just ask him if he loves you or just saying it because he loved the cookie. All right. Someone else says, in my opinion, emotional maturity will benefit the relationship. And there are a few more comments that I will share. I see y'all still thinking. All right, so I'm going to share a few more comments. This was a really interesting post, okay? Let's see here. Do I want to share? I'll share these real fast and then we can move on. Talk to him. It's called communication. If I could tell you how much people being in their own heads is having a simple freaking conversation has damaged my life and those around me. Adults should be able to talk and ask and say what it is. Okay. Someone else went further to say have a conversation with him, and then basically the consensus was that there needs to be a conversation. Okay. Mm. So I'm going to go to this comment section. Oh, fam, listen, you know I ain't doing it. Fam, no. 11 kids? Mm-mm. No, mm-mm. No. I can't even do it. 11? All right, so Blue Coltrane, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Communication is key. Be honest with who you are and how you feel. Cards on the table. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Okay. So, and I think that that is really great advice. Okay. And studio, I'm going to get to y'all in a second, but I kind of want to talk about, kind of mention a few points. I think that you definitely should have a conversation, right? And I would say have it in a calm, non confrontational way. Say something like, I was thinking about the other night or whatever, right? And basically, the direction you should go with that is just try to get on the same page. I would first, before I did that though, I would do a knowledge of self, right? I would reflect on my own feelings, right? You mentioned that the feeling is mutual. Okay. I read that right in the post, right, y'all? I believe that this anonymous person said that the feelings are mutual. So I would really take a moment and think about what like I love you means to you, right? I think that's important. Okay. And then like actually think about why you are ready to say it and why you were holding back because there's a reason for that, right? So I would think about that. I would also like acknowledge the timing. So I would be like, yo, you said it when we was getting it in. So, like, was that pillow talk or are you really feeling me? I think you have to be open, transparent, and vulnerable with this because I feel like if this conversation isn't had, I think it could start with brewing up feelings that may not even be. So I really do think that it is important to be on the same page and don't hold back. Okay. Don't hold back. Now I'm a Cancer. I'm speaking to myself. I know about holding back, but I'm saying in this situation, definitely don't hold back. I think it's time to have the conversation. I think the majority was right. Like you definitely have to have that conversation. All right. Let's see here. No on the left. Listen, D. I, 11 kids is a lot. Man, I just thought about the price of groceries. I just went to the store and I didn't even have 3 bags and spent $70. And it wasn't even no great coupon or nothing in there. You feel me? I just can't imagine 11 kids. I can't even process that, especially having zero. Yeah, no, no. Again, disclaimer: if you are in that situation and it works, that's fine, okay? Because family Families are important. And y'all know that I love families, but I'm just saying, like, oh. I can't do no with 11. All right, so let's see here. So, Mark.
To clarify, because I won't answer your question and everything, to clarify, the 11 kids are scattered because I think it's the 4 kids, 3 of the kids have kids, and one has no kids. I think the girls have a variety of kids, and the one son just had his first kid. So, and then I think 3 of the 11 live in Atlanta, the other 8 live in North Carolina. So the 11 kids are also scattered, which can help the situation or not help the situation. But to come back to your early this post and everything, Pillow Talk is wonderful. I am the biggest fan of Pillow Talk, but I also know what Pillow Talk is. Pillow Talk, as you know, I'm one of your fellow cancers. A lot of times, what we say in the bed is to kind of get the mood going, to keep the mood going, and all along those lines. But I would rather hear "I love you" on a regular basis, and like just walking around the house, maybe in the kitchen, or maybe walking out in the garden if you got a garden, or just walking to a museum or something like that. So I'd rather hear it on a day-to-day basis, because that to me is sincere. Because sometimes you say all kinds of things when you're in the heat of the action, because you're trying to keep the heat of the action going and everything. So like I said, sometimes we say things to keep it going, and I sometimes wonder, not saying the Pillow Talk isn't sincere, but sometimes you have to wonder about the sincerity of "I love you" in the middle of the act, to your point and everything. So I'd rather hear it on a regular basis and all along those lines. But that's just me. And as you know, cancers, because you're a fellow cancer, we can sometimes be overly romantic, or have that romantic spirit and everything. We got a freaky side too. As I told you before, I think that we are the Scorpios that don't have the Scorpio reputation, but that's just my opinion and everything. But that's just my opinion, because we can be just as bad as them, but we just don't have their quote unquote reputation. I can say that with a younger brother who is a Scorpio and everything. But I think we can be equally as wild, and I'll just leave it at that and everything. But I think we can have our freaky moments as well. But yeah, I know that I have said some things in the heat of the moment that you wondered about and everything. Because I'm just going, since we're having a confession moment, I'm gonna have a confession moment now as well. There have been times that the music man is here. Maybe he's had those moments too, where you have that heat of the moment and you really get passionate and you really get into the groove, and y'all have that explosion, and maybe you were going bareback and everything, and then afterwards you sitting there doing that silent prayer, going like, "Dang, I like this woman and she's cool and everything, but I damn sure ain't trying to have no baby and everything." And I know you women probably have that thought as well after the action, where you are praying that the action did not lead to the child and everything. Because I know guys do that sometimes.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. Like, and I ain't gonna get the blueprint too much, but hearing "I love you" in different environments, I think is important. Not only hearing it, actions be behind it as well. Because sometimes "I love you" is, "Did you eat today?" Right? Sometimes "I love you" is, "How you doing? Like, can I do anything? How can I love you, better or whatever?" Right? So there's different ways to say "I love you," and I think it's good to express that in various capacities, not just when you get it in and y'all in the moment, that. Like, that's cute. I'm not taking it for granted. I'm saying that I think it is good to express it on, in different environments as well. And so we do have a few more comments. So B says, "Just ask him. I can't hear good." Okay, absolutely. So Malik said, "Thank you for joining me, Malik. You know how I appreciate you, bodyguard. If the only reason you say or do things is to get it back, it may not be genuine." See, and Malik, that's why I said she really should do the knowledge of self. She really, or he, whoever, right? It's she. I'm thinking she, because, she said he. Anyway, but I know the times we live in. I'm just going to say she. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. And that's why I said that she should do a reflection, because she should also look at, if she's ready, why she held back and things of that sort, right? I think that's a good thing. So let's see here. Mark, I know you see that comment too. See,
I saw that comment.
I see that comment. Like, no time needed. Why does it matter if I don't say it back at the time? Okay, that makes sense. I can see that. I can see that perspective too, right?
Lisa,
So
can I?
Lisa,
Yeah, I saw that comment and everything. Lisa, can I just pivot just slightly and everything? Because I think the soup will like this, because I had this conversation recently, and I've got a friend that is in this situation. We're talking about the 11 babies. Are there situations in those of us that are here in the suit? I want to know, are there situations that you won't deal with? Because I've got a dear friend. He's actually married, but he was a ex-con, and he's actually a motivational speaker. Him and his wife are doing quite well, and he's a great motivational speaker. Michael, and I'm trying to get Michael's last name and everything, but it's Polished Souls is the name of his group and everything. But I'm just wondering, as a woman, could you see yourself getting with somebody that's a in the prison system, and even there are women prisoners too? Can the guys that are here, could they see themselves getting with somebody that has been through the penal system? That's my question. I'd be curious to know whether people could go down that path and everything, because I do know that there are women that are ex-cons, and maybe they had some issues, whether it was drugs or whether it was even eviction or whatever they caused them to get into the jail system. And like I said, I think Michael actually had an assault. It might have even been a murder, but he is happily married and all along those lines. So I just wondered if the soup could see themselves getting with somebody that has been gotten themselves in trouble, even if it was a long time ago.
So let's see here. Would I, let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Would I deal with someone who's been through the system?
Yes.
So that's the question, y'all. Would y'all deal with that? Right? So let me give them a second to think about it. Let me marinate on that for a minute, okay? Because I feel like, depending on what happened, because we've all made mistakes. There's nobody that's perfect, right? And sometimes people go through the system and they ain't really do nothing. Right? There's innocent people in jail, right? Justice, listen, I ain't gonna get into that. But there are people in jail that are really innocent. There's people who didn't do it, they just got caught up or whatever. Okay. So I'm gonna give y'all a second to think about that. Would y'all deal with somebody in the system? I'm gonna tell you what though. Let me see here. I see the comments. Let me get to these comments, okay? Miss Woodson, thank you for joining me. Hello, hello, hello. So are you saying that in like the Jamaican? Hello, hello, hello. Am I hearing that with an accent? Because when I read it, it's like I heard it in my head with an accent. If they have reached the frequency that I like, then yes, evolution is the key. That makes sense. I love that. Absolutely. That's why, I'm trying to throw that out there that, everybody that's in the system didn't necessarily do anything, and people can be reformed, right? Absolutely. Because ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. There are a lot of felons who've never been caught doing anything that have done a lot worse than things than felons. That's true. It is people out here that ain't got caught.
Oh, you mean like the guy that's gonna be on TV in about an hour and a half? They's been gone and been in prison yet? You talk about like him?
And it says, if they are out, got themselves together, changed their life, I will be open today. There are so many success stories. Just even me as a professor, there are students that, were caught up and they're changing their lives. So I'm not going to judge you for that, because truly we all could be judged partially by someone off of our past, no matter how big or small. I think that can definitely be the case. So, it's just going to have to depend on the situation.
Agree.
I can't, it's so hard sometimes to say for and all, like as a whole.
I guess the only question I got with that is, yeah, I agree that anybody can change their lives, but there's a lot of intermingling. I'll just leave it at that when they're in prison and everything. So I think you also got to be cautiously healthy and make sure that they are gotten tested regularly and all along those lines, because that would be my one concern, because I do know that what I know, and I've never been in the system. I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't been busted one time and had to do some community service, but it wasn't like real jail time. It was just literally community service and all in that kind of space. And I think I was actually trying to help one of my brother's friends go, ironically, talk to a young lady at one of the HBCUs and everything, in security got on us and had us do community service. But I do know that if you've done hard time, there's some people in there. I've watched enough of the police dramas on TV to know that sometimes there are people that are intermingling and doing the same gender and everything. So that would be my one concern, because even if it's a women's prison, I'm sure there are women that are getting with each other. So then you've got to wonder how safe they were being. And I'm just trying to keep it clean, but that's what I'm saying would be my one concern. And I'm not knocking it. I do know that people change, and I'm not saying that they can't even be healthy when they're in, because not every prison is treated the same either. There are some that are better than others.
Absolutely, absolutely. You would definitely have to consider all of that because
Right.
I've definitely heard stories. I watch true crime. I watch all of those different shows, and I've been blessed to cross paths with different people, and yeah, that definitely has been talked about. Like sometimes people do kill people in there, and you have to really consider the long term impact of that, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's definitely a good point. All right, so boom, I'm gonna take you off real quick, and
No
I'm gonna
problem.
about one more topic. So y'all don't leave. Don't leave yet. Don't leave. Okay. All right, boom. So that's pretty deep, right? Now, there was another topic, right, that I want to bring up. If y'all got anything else that y'all want to say, go ahead and type it in the chat, right? Because time is winding down, and y'all know by this time I am starving, right? Ooh, I got a good dinner lined up. I can't wait. All right, so this is the last one that I want to bring up, okay? So I'm going to share my screen one more again, one more again, one more again, one more again. Hold on. If I ever went to prison, it would need to be co-ed. At least it would have to be my. Listen, Jay. I guess this is better than the reading rainbow. Listen, orange is not the new black for me. You hear me? Listen, orange is not the new black. Listen, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I can't even fight. Okay, I can fight, but I ain't trying to even put myself in no situation. You a fool. You are a fool, Jay. All right, so this last conversation, y'all. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. I just saw that and I just had to laugh about it. Okay, so boom. I want to talk about this one right here. Okay, so let's see here. I want to do. So check this out. Okay, so somebody posted this in the group. So this wife was snooping through her husband's phone and saw a conversation between him and his brother about a secret baby. The brother may have been having an out that the brother basically had outside of his marriage. So what this wife did, she sent a screenshot of the text to the brother-in-law's wife. Now her husband has said he has lost trust and respect. What should she do? I'm going to share a few of the comments real quick. Think about that. So basically, this wife was snooping through her husband's phone, okay, and found some stuff on her brother in law, found the tea, right? So then she sends the receipts to brother's wife. Husband found out about it and he's feeling the type of way. He's like, wait a minute, that's not cool. So now he has lost all respect for his wife. So what should she do? Hi, William. William, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. You hear me? Because that's the thing. Like, once you lose respect, I don't know about getting that back. Stay the hell out of people's phones, says the Pisces. Says the Pisces. All right, so I want to share a few of the comments. Hi, William. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. All right, so let's go back to Nosy Wife. I call this one Nosy Wife. Hi, James. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's go back to Nosy Wife right quick because this is crazy. So there were a few comments, okay? I'm going to keep it pretty short because we're at the end. So basically, comment says it was none of your business. Another member says you should have stopped that. I was just snooping through my husband's phone. What's wrong with people? Someone else says misery loves company. Someone else says definitely wasn't your place. And actions have consequences. So what y'all think? What y'all think? Right? Uh, as far as what I would say, she needs to take responsibility for her actions, and she definitely needs to have an open and honest conversation with her husband. Uh, and she has to figure out, they have to figure out together how to rebuild that trust, right? One, to me, losing respect in a marriage is so dangerous because once you lose that respect, to me, it's just kind of downhill without some type of conversation, possibly even professional or spiritual help. Okay. So, yeah, I would definitely say seek counseling on that. So, this is what I want to go with that real quick, right? Mind your business. Right? So, do y'all think married people shouldn't have access to each other's phones? What y'all think about that, right? Should there be a level of privacy if you're married or in a very committed relationship? So Miss Woodson says, all she violated. Nope, there's a time and place for everything. That wasn't her place. Heck, the brother might not even be the father. And what if she was wrong? Great point, right? I think she jumped the gun on that. I think she, yeah, I just see so much wrong with that. No, there's a level of privacy, right? Okay, okay, I can see that. Absolutely, absolutely, right? So let me see here. I'm just going to bring everybody on in the studio, right? Because I'm curious what y'all think as well.
Maybe
There, I'm
privacy,
to
everyone within the German church.
people.
Then there's one.
Okay, so what y'all think?
Let me get this straight, because I'm trying to understand. Hopefully, Music Man will say what he's got on his mind as well. But is she was snooping, found some information that may or may not be correct and everything, and then she's gonna make it her business to go out there and basically be a home wrecker, for lack of a better term, and everything. And like somebody said in your chat, you don't know whether that's fact or fiction or along this line. So I got a couple of problems. One, it ain't your family and everything, and two, you're gonna sit there and try to be home wrecking people and all along those lines. So yeah, I got some serious questions about what was going on in that space that you feel obligated to go to a phone that isn't yours and find what you think is evidence that may not be evidence and all along those lines. But I'd love to hear what Music Man got to say about this, because I'm going like, wait a minute, that just needs wrong on all kinds of levels, but I don't want to dominate the conversation. So what do you think, Music Man?
MYB, mind your business. So at the end of the day, it's messy because first and foremost, that wasn't her business to tell.
Right.
You can cause chaos. I mean, in the world we live in, you can trigger people to the point where, it could have ended really bad in that situation because, again, there's a time and place for that. And you should actually address your husband and say, hey, I saw something in your phone, and go to him versus trying to be sneaky and go around and go straight to the source. I get the intent behind it, but at the same time, there's a time and place for that. There should have been a conversation prior to letting that information out, and really have more of a understanding of how we're going to go forward with that information. But that wasn't her business to tell. So mind your business.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. We have a few comments real quickly. Let's see here. So Jay says nobody needs to be chaperoning someone's phone. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Let's see here. Yes, I'll leave my phone open for my husband. I have nothing to hide. And that's definitely a perspective, okay? Like, should, to the question of should spouses, people in a relationship have access to each other's phone, to each other's phone, right? Let's see here. Derek says if they are reformed on the up and up and genuine, I would accept them regularly. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I definitely think that a conversation should be had. It has to. Like there is no way around that. There's no way around that. So yeah. So Music Man. Okay, so I'm gonna ask for a quick favor. We are at the end of the show. We have a couple minutes left. You already know that I'm not gonna sing because who I want to sound like?
You already know Kelly Rowland. Come
Kelly,
on, we already here.
right? So
100%.
listen. So we still gotta get in the studio and do that collab, right? I
You
want to
playing? You
know.
quit playing with me. Quit playing. I've been saying that for like a year and a half. Come on, now. You know I'm ready. I got the Pro Tools and Auto Tune ready.
You got Fruity Loops. You got Fruity Loops. I
No
was trying to
doubt.
cut something out.
Oh,
Okay, so
oh, before
yeah.
we get there, because I know where you gonna go, but I got you on that. So Lisa, she tried to leave me off the other subject real quick, but I'm gonna say this: I'm innocent, but I had a rhyme on my head. If it's pillow talk, you gotta let it walk. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Drop the mic.
Pillow talk, you gotta let it walk. It's kind of like if they don't fit, you gotta quit. Is that kind of like that?
So
Oh,
the talk, you gotta let it walk. I like that saying. That's a good saying and everything.
I
But
see you.
I'm curious
In
because I
the
know you're doing
heat
this
of
real
the
music
moment.
and really doing music and the singing and the birthday and all along those lines. But my question really quickly is, do people have privacy in their phones, in their computer? Because I know that sometimes there are things that you might not want, and sometimes it might even be business stuff. I know Music Man probably got some things that are business related that he doesn't need his lady, if he's got a lady, necessarily seeing and everything, and definitely some computer correspondence and everything. And sometimes it, because I know he's in the same business I am in the sense of entertainment, and sometimes we are dealing with other folks of the other gender and everything, women that they might take it the wrong way and everything. So I think that sometimes there's got to be some respect and privacy just in general. I don't know that I think that you got to sit there and monitor the phones all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would totally agree with that because, well, you were talking Music Man, but Music Man, if you don't mind, right? For me personally, I do have stuff in my phone because just even with the relationship forum, people will inbox me, or if I know them personally, they'll share information with me, sensitive information. Like I've had people share things, all kind of stuff, right? So I do like to keep that separate and private. It's business, right? Okay. So I think that if I did have a spouse, I would want them to respect that. I feel that if I had a spouse or whatever, I mean, we would be able to establish that foundation of trust and understanding and all of that, where that really wouldn't be an issue. So anyway,
Wait a minute, really
yeah,
quickly. I know where you're going with Music Man. You mean I can't find that phone text message that you gave to that guy like some 5 or 6 years ago, and everything is still sitting in your phone, Lisa? So it's not still hanging on your phone that you didn't erase and everything. That I won't find one of these days that phone text message is still sitting in your phone account.
you talking about sexting? I ain't doing that.
I know that's right.
I ain't listen. There's just things I'm not gonna do right now. Okay, so of course, there are people who have sent unsolicited stuff, and I'm just gonna put it like that. I don't have that no more, right? A lot of times, if I get something very unsolicited, and I'll just say that to try to keep it PC, because I don't know how far you can go since this is gonna be on Facebook. Yeah, I ain't got that. I ain't got that. And stuff from my past, like past. Like, yeah, no, 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 no. I'm very careful. I'm very careful, with how I move when it comes to stuff like that. So
Agreed.
I'm good. I'm good. Now I ain't got none of that in my phone, future babe. You ain't gotta worry, baby. I ain't got none of that in my phone. Now I do have conversations, like I said, for my members, because my members, they do share, and my friends and family stuff, they do share, very private things. But other than that, it ain't nothing suspect, baby. It ain't
Well,
nothing suspect.
I'm glad to know that, but I know because he's a Music Man that there are probably some tapes. Because I think if I remember correctly, Music Man has also got some acting stuff in his career as well. So I'm sure there's some videos and things that he has gotten and everything that might be sitting in the phone that he doesn't necessarily want to share. Because I know I've got some things I'm going like, I didn't really want to see that, but they're trying to entice you and all along those lines. So I'm just being honest, Music Man. I know there's probably some things on your phone that you're sitting there going like, that's a little bit too skimpy, that particular picture that you sent and all along those lines.
yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah. Even to the point where I'm also a part of like Timberland's B Club, and I have a recording when we were on a FaceTime together. And so obviously I took a picture of that, but I can't release that audio to the public because that, I can get flagged for that, for like copyrights and things like that. So I don't want to get sued. So I've have like actual recordings FaceTime with myself and Timbaland. So yeah, there's just stuff that, is not for public view. Obviously there's recordings I can't release without copyrights and things of that nature. And then on a private level, anybody that's my friend know that like, I built trust with them, and what is in Vegas stays in Vegas. So I don't care what you tell. If you tell me something private, I'm going to the grave with that. And so I build that level of trust because, again, and if people open up to you, you have to make sure you garner trust. Because again, people are like, okay, I can see, I would never trust them with information again, because at the end of the day, people need that outlet to get things out. So whether it's personal business, even in my corporate life, there's stuff on my phone that, that I can't discuss until it's released to the public, because again, I can get sued for those things. So absolutely. Um, Everything isn't for everybody, but you have to make sure that there's a time and place for everything. So in that situation, you just have to be, mindful of what needs to be shared. And then again, have those conversations. To Lisa's point, you got to have the conversations, because
You
if
have
not,
to
it can
have,
be messy. Yeah, it'll get real messy real quick, and then
yeah,
you're gonna break trust, and then you're gonna cause further issues in your relationship, whether it's business or personal. So make sure that you're moving with integrity, and you can be somebody that people can trust. Because if people can't trust you, they don't trust you, and you're gonna lose a lot of people if you can't be trusted. So, hey, I'm trustworthy. Yeah, I'm moving God's speed. So at the end of the day, hey, what's in Vegas stays in Vegas, and
hey, that's
that's my
it.
word.
I know that to be true, Mr. Torres. I know that to be true. So, where did I want to go really quick? And I think that's a conversation too, because we are pretty much at the end of the show. Um, that's a conversation that you should have before you get married, before you get into a relationship. Like, what are your boundaries and things of that stuff, that things of that sort when it comes to privacy. Like, and I think that's just good to talk about. And so that way, you'll have those guidelines when you're moving in that marriage or that relationship. But that's just all I got to say about that. So,
And you may be, I know you need to wrap up, but something important, and God gave me this, because I'll be having my God moments, but because a lot of times the lines get blurred between boundaries and walls, and I had this thought. God gave me this, my private moment. Boundaries build bridges, walls tear down bridges. So be mindful enough and really get into the discernment of what the difference is between walls and boundaries, because I know sometimes those lines get blurred. Boundaries set healthy limits. Walls shut people out. So oftentimes I hear people say boundaries, but we got to really, know the difference. That could be a whole show in itself. But I just really want to, to spit that where God gave it to me.
absolutely. And do me a favor, okay? Will you please, right? That's the cancer me I'm about to, will you please sing happy birthday to Derek's mom?
Word.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so let me do this. Mark, I'm going to bring you back, okay? Okay, so will you please sing happy birthday to Derek's mom? I know that Derek is in the studio, so I know that they're still able to hear this. If you could do a quick happy birthday so we can get out of here, because look, I'm hungry too. I got to do my spiel.
Go ahead. I don't want you to faint. So let's go ahead
Now,
and get it.
because I be seeing stars by like 8, look, by about like 7:55, I'm seeing stars. You hear
I
me?
already know, because we both intermittent fast. So
You
absolutely, I
already
get it.
know. Every day. That's how I stay timeless. That's partially how I stay timeless.
That's it. Got to do it. All right. So I believe it's Linda. That's what my aunt's name. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Listen, see, God knew. Let me tell you something what God knew. God knew he couldn't give me a voice. You hear me? Because I'll be singing all the time. I was still, how back in the 90s or the early 2000s, like you would have the little, like your voicemail greeting. Man, I'll be singing
Yes.
all the time. I would pick up the phone singing. See, God already knew. I ain't gonna let her do that.
Hello. No doubt.
Right? I'd be singing all the time. I would be that friend. I would be that sibling. I would be that one just singing all the time. Well, we got a few comments, y'all. Hold on. Let's see here. So, Blue Coal Train LLC says big facts. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. Cooper, greetings. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. I really, really appreciate you. Let's see here. Demetric, blessings. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate that. I know. Isn't that the sweetest? Yeah, isn't that singing out? Hey, I admire anybody that can sing. You hear me? I'm telling you, God already knew. He said, "Yeah, I ain't gonna do it to you, Lisa." I said, "No,
You
but you know how to act." Bernie
or
says, "Happy birthday."
happy birthday. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I gotta watch. Yeah, absolutely, Dr. Cooper. The replay's on there. It definitely be on there, and I'll post some highlights too. And there's one more. B says nothing to hide. I feel that too, B. I think you just have to have an understanding, because I'm one of them people. I ain't got nothing to hide either. You know. Um, I think it's just still good to talk about it with your significant other to figure it out. You got to figure that out. All right. So, are there any last words, Reese, that you want to say before I do my spiel?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, I just want to drop this on you because this is kind of the way I've been moving since 2023. Always, don't search for happiness, decide joy. And that actually comes out of gratitude. So always wake up with something to be grateful for. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I promise you, you'll be more joyful. You'll have a more peaceful life if you move with gratitude. Gratitude is everything. Gratitude is God. So when you move like that, again, no matter all the ebbs and flows that you deal with in life, if you move with gratitude, you'll never be depressed, down in the dumps, because life is good. God is good.
All the time, all the time. I'm a big fan of gratitude. Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, cousin Melvin. I appreciate you. I really, really do. Miss Woodson says, "Happy birthday, enjoy." Yes, say that, music man. Absolutely. All right,
Appreciate
music
you.
man. I'm gonna put you back in the studio. Don't go nowhere. You know how this works. Don't go nowhere. All right. Okay, boom. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I see so many new listeners and watchers. I appreciate y'all so much. Zuxa, I see you. I see you listening to Shell and Stacy. There's so many of you listening tonight. I'm gonna give a shout out to my mama. Y'all know that I have to do in every show, giving her a shout out. Thank you, mama, for listening. Thank you, Aunt Anna. I really appreciate you. Thank y'all so much for taking time to comment, to post, and all that stuff. And if you ever want to be a guest, DM me, right? DM me, right? If you want a whole hour to yourself with me, let's do it. All right. So let's see here. Of course, I got to do my spiel so I can get out of here and eat something, right? So please make sure YouTube is Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period in there, y'all, right? And then on IG is Relationship Soup, Relationship Soup Group on Facebook. And then, of course, hit up the website, RelationshipSoup.com. Get y'all greeting cards and y'all shirts and all that, right? And let's see here. Is there anything else? If you want to follow me, Relationship Soup LLC, or you can look me up under my name. Other than that, you know how I like to end it. You got to love yourself, right? It starts with you. Okay. So remember that whatever you're going through, whether you high or low, it starts with you. All right. And gratitude is everything. Until next week, I love you all, and I'll see y'all next week, Lord willing. So have a great Tuesday, a great rest of your week. And on that note, peace.